Hey guys, Mike from Epoxy Creations. We didn't get to show you the full pour because we rushed it. We should have done two separate pours, should have done a couple of big pieces, and then go and make a whole nother batch and do it again. I mean, this board right here, we almost totally forgot about until we were past our work time. So this board, I didn't like the way it came out. This is a backsplash. I'm going to re-pour the entire thing. But also because of our wait time for pulling our tape, that's great when you got one little piece, but with all these pieces, we didn't really get the right results. Plus the tape we used, that tape, it was for very delicate surfaces. It didn't stick. It let a lot of our product drip out. So I'm using a heavier painter's tape. And what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna go ahead and mix up more of my white pearl, or white metallic. I'm also gonna take some of the gray metallic for trying to drag some veins. But I'm just gonna put it back in that bottle. That bottle worked great. And I'll be able to show you that on this. And I'm gonna run it right down the side here. I'm gonna just fill up this little edge here. Okay, you can see some dry spot right here. I mean, this is primer. From here to here is just primer. So we're gonna fill this up, and then we're gonna wait on it, and then we can go ahead and pull our tapes. There was a couple spots that, as I was sanding, getting ready for this, I burnt down to the MDF. So I just went, I have a lot of artist brush. I just took this little teeny brush here. This is a 1. And I took it with the primer and I just touched up the little burn spot. Okay, so I don't need this right now. I also have a couple little spots taped off on this board. The edges are totally acceptable for me. The back end I don't care about because that's going against the wall. But there are a couple little teeny dry spots, little divots. So when we do this, I'm going to take my glove and I'm just going to tap it in. And if it's a little high, it's okay. We're going to have to sand this down to do the flood coat. I have over here a little buggy poo got in here. So I sanded this little spot down. And that's going to show. I don't like that. So I'm going to tap that with a little bit of the white metallic. You can see on this board here, I only taped off. There's a real dry section here. I mean, that's primer. That's not acceptable. So there's a small section here. And what I'll do is I can go ahead and just fill this area and work that. These were fine. I had no problem with them. In fact, this one I had a really good vein going on. I don't want to play with that because I have enough product on there. On our back edges over here, we got some dry spots. So I'm going to put a little bit more on the back edges over there. I don't like that. This right here, we're thinking, oh goodness, it's going against the wall. We don't care, right? Well, the problem is it's not. The stove is going to be right here. So I have to make sure I have no product on this whole side of the board. So I don't have a rollover. So what I have is I got this tape here, and I'm going to try to just load up a bunch in here. And I'll wait till the very end on that to let that slowly pour over. If we get it so it covers it pretty good, we should be all right. And the same thing went with these two sides. They didn't get enough product on them. I'm also going to rub those down. I'm not really concerned other than I want some coverage. Now over here, I have it back from where I am. There's a little dry spot a little bit above the edge, so I'll just tap that with my finger. Here's another spot right here that needs a little work. When we were troweling this particular piece, we caught and burnt through the primer. You can't see it, but right here, there was a little spot, went down to the wood. So I sanded that little area. I took a little bit of some white acrylic paint, mixed in some of my metallic, and I just touched that up, and that's acceptable for me. You're never gonna see that. This guy over here, he was a bigger thing, but this was a tan stripe here. So I touched this up with some of my acrylic paint with a little bit of gray and a little bit of the white metallic. I'm still not happy with how this looks, so I'm gonna take my finger and I'm just gonna dab a little bit with some of the white metallic. I mixed up a 2-to-2, put me at 34 ounces. I'm going to be sure I have enough product. I poured off about 8 ounces, a little bit in here for the gray veining. I added my additive to the rest of this. So now I'm going to go ahead and take my bottle. I'm going to use a funnel. And we're going to fill this bottle up all the way. Or pretty close to all the way. And I'll put my cap on it, and then we can start doing our pouring. put some more later too. I think I'm good over there. This guy over here, I did. So now, this is where I want the pipe right here. A little bit of this vein to run here. Looks pretty good with that. A little of this vein running off here. And then might have to put some more brand on. And then go ahead and take a little bit, just a little bit there, and a little bit here, and we'll put a teeny bit here. And okay, so it's been about an hour and 15 minutes or so. I'm going to start pulling back my tape. I'm not going to pull it all the way back. I'm going to pull it back about halfway on these long sections here. Let that product slowly roll down. And I'm going to use my Bondo blade and just bring these around.
Here she is.
Yep. All right, guys, so that was part one of Fix-Its, and you'll see how much aggravation it caused me in part two, and I'll also ask you if you really want to do this or not, but I finished up my last video without my signature, so here we go. That was easy. Not really.